Testing, testing, oh testing, I'm testing, testing, testing. Okay guys, so we're here with a game called Towns, which you guys can clearly see. Okay, so this is gonna be another one of those, if there's 5 likes I will continue this series, if not, I'm not really gonna bother, and then, I'm gonna be giving you guys like one video a week. So I'm actually doing 3 videos a week is what I'm going to be doing. Um, Minecraft on Mondays, Path of Exile on Wednesdays, and Towns on Fridays. I will be writing this down somewhere so I can actually remember. But anyways, let's get to this, shall we? We're going to be starting a new game. Yes, I want to erase this. So first, let's get into this, and I will show you guys basically how to play it. This is an indie game. I did pay $10 to gain early access to it. So, anyways, it is a sandbox game, kind of like Buildcraft and that, but it is you more controlling a actual village. Ooh, cool. That will be handy. Okay. So you use your WAD keys or arrow keys to move around. I prefer my WASD, I should say. E is to scroll through your villagers. R is to go previous. I really don't like how that's set up. That should be R then E. You can also get heroes, and you got soldiers, which are just your civilians converted over. But anyways, guys, let's actually continue with this now. So first, what we are going to need is to find a decent place to plant. Get some growing done. Okay, so I'm personally thinking right around here, but then we're not going to be able to grow in this much direction much. But it will do us for what we want. So first, let's chop some trees. And we're going to need some wood. So there we go. We're also going to harvest some wheat. Well, wild wheat. Because the normal wheat is grown and then wild wheat is harvested from just around. Okay. So sadly I don't have any mods actually installed currently. I am working on 2 mods. Well, one mod's complete. I just have to keep it up to date with towns at this point. And the other mod is a work in progress, which I may end up posting videos on, and you guys will actually get to see it. So what we're going to do is we're going to need a carpentry bench in order to actually do anything. And what I placed down and placed it on is a carpentry zone. Zones are basically where you're going to end up having to place the majority of your tools on, or utilities I should be saying. Then you also got like walls, plants. You can plant roads, which give like 65% speed or something like that. I don't remember. Happiness items, aka decoration or decorative items. You got indoor decorative, outdoor decorative, some badgers. Don't ask. Also got some farms and some mills, mine shaft, some containers for storing stuff. So what we're gonna need now is to get the mining done. So because we need to get ourselves a bit of stone. We're also gonna need that pear. We're gonna need some trees. So, some fruit trees to keep us sustainable. You don't need water or anything for the trees, but preferably you want to separate them a bit. I typically plant like this for my trees. The reason why you do this is because trees, if there is nothing beside them, you are basically almost guaranteed a second apple or pear or whatever fruit they tend to give. So I tend to do it that way instead. Okay, holding shift, click, see, and then I'll have to click back in here and I can just continue. No, close that. Okay, so what we're doing currently is basically just trying to get some crops going so we can actually have a steady food source. I don't really like going with wheat because of the fact that you end up having to do the whole mills, and mills are messed up, hence my one mod actually fixes that. Because it actually gets rid of the mill building and gives you a utility which does the exact same thing. But it's not fully automatic. Townie actually has to go and spend all the time doing it. But in general, it actually does help out more. Okay, so now that we got some of that stuff going, let's get ourselves a detailer. So, uh, so what we're going to do, hopefully this episode, is get some food going. As you guys can already clearly tell. Let's clear some more trees. Okay, so they built our wood detailer. This game is sort of tech tree setup, like you end up having to build this first before anything else. Well, except for you can build this whenever, but that's just to burn items. I'll get into that later because we more than likely will be burning some items. And then for the wood detailer, you need the carpentry bench, some wood, some stone. In order to make the mason's bench, you need the detailer. And in order to get into the metal, you of course need the mason's bench, and in order to get the smelter, you need the anvil, and for this you need both of those, and this basically allows you almost like every item. Well, once you get to that point, you're able to get every item basically. So, what we're gonna need now is, we already got some apple trees, so we're gonna get some pear trees going. I'm just gonna delete that so I can get it out of my wife right now. I typically don't like deleting the stuff because it's sort of like a cheating way to get rid of stuff out of your way, but we will cut that bush. Which is the exact same thing as deleting, so it's kind of weird. Oh, we gotta fight. Bruised and well. We're losing this fight. That is not good. We're actually gonna end up losing one of our townies. That's sad. Very quite sad. Okay, so now that we actually got an apple tree planted, guys, we can come over to the production menu, aka the left menu. Go to food, gathering, trees and plants, and this is how you can auto harvest your crops. It is a wonderful, wonderful menu. So what we are going to do is we want to keep 5 apples on hand at all times, and we want to keep 5 pears on at all times. Now what this will do, because of the fact that all these aren't currently there, is it will pick the trees, turn them into seeds, and then plant new seeds which will become a bush, and then the bush will become a new tree. So it works out quite well. It's the same with if when you're planting wheat. Okay guys, so what we're going to need now is a stockpile. Because we need to keep our stuff a little bit closer so our guys aren't stuck going all over the place. So we're just going to plant this decent sized one here. And we are going to keep all the materials. So anything like wood, stone, that sort of stuff. Okay, I don't like doing that, but those are bad. Very, very bad. Those will... if one of you okay, I'll go like this. If one of your townies dies, do you leave a corpse? After a corpse gets so old, it turns... Sorry, after... Yeah, corpse and then its human remains, which is bones, basically. Just bones lying on the ground. But once those have been there for so long, it creates a monster called a ghost, or Ghost of Heroes Past, or something like that. Which is not a fun fight right off the beginning when you have no heroes and stuff like that. So we need to get rid of those so we don't actually have to worry about them. So we still have 10 civilians, so we can try to get ourselves a hero. But before that, we are going to need a mason's bench because we need to get into some other stuff. This is how we're basically going to be cooking, is through cooking fire until I can get some metal. But we don't have any eggs or anything like that, so okay, now that we have the mason's bench, we are going to need a kitchen. And with the kitchen, we need a kitchen table. Doesn't look very much kitchen table-y, but hey. Okay, now where is some flint? Oh, gravel, because gravel becomes flint, and I'm trying to find a decent source. And there doesn't seem to be a decent source on this map. Well, ain't that the greatest. Okay, so I guess the best we're gonna have is to go like that. Oh, we got a flint. Awesome. Okay, now that we have a flint, you're going to need a area of trees. So a 5x5 area will be good enough. Because of course, in order to have a fire, you have to have wood. So we're gonna want a renewable wood source, so we don't have to keep cutting down these trees. Because these trees will spawn a new bush, and these bushes will turn into trees, and then those trees will spawn more bushes. It's actually quite elaborate on how they have it set up, which is actually kind of cool. Then the modding for this game is pathetically easy, especially with the mod manager. But currently, mod manager is actually down, so that part is actually sort of saddening. But nothing we can really do about it, because the guy that was creating it, his laptop or computer decided to screw up, and he and all the files ended up going bye-bye. So no more source code. So it has to go back from scratch again. So it's actually not that bad. You can still get a copy of the newest version though, so it's not terribly bad, but it's not the greatest. Okay, so we're gonna want a I can't even remember what this thing is. Okay. The new fire. We're gonna want that check to 1. And now we are going to want a cooking fire. And that is how we're gonna produce all of our food, other than that. Also, we are going to need some wood in order to make a zone for animals. But in order for that first, we're going to need a decent sized area walled off so that our animals aren't walking around with their heads cut off, basically. 1, 2, 3, 4. And another 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, what the chicken farms will do is you put in a chicken and 2 wood, you're gonna making a chicken farm. What these will do is produce chickens over time. Now, some of you guys are like, well, that sounds kind of cheap. Well, literally, it is a little bit cheap because it is free animals for no cost. But they are actually fixing that, so soon we are going to actually have breeding, so that should be fun. Not to mention you can turn these buildings off. Like, I'm just going to turn them off for right now. So no hot chicken. Yeah. I'm just going to stop there. Okay, so as you guys can see, our townies are actually doing quite a bit at this point. We're gonna actually need some more carpentry benches because one fence at a time is just gonna take forever to do this. So we're gonna cut down some more trees real quick. Okay. Also, another scary thought in one of the updates, they actually made trees, which aren't actually trees. They're known as tree keepers. What tree keepers are is they look like exactly like a tree, except what they are is a monster. So those tend to get quite hurtful after a while because of the fact that, well, it they do actually attack you and you don't know what tree could actually be one. So I think there's like 20 of them per different type of tree. So well, per tree and pine tree, they're the only two that actually carry them. So if you're playing on a jungle or a what is it? Jungle or desert map, then it doesn't actually matter because there are none of those trees. So okay, so now that you guys can see we got some trees going, what we are going to do is have a stack of 10 wood at all times because we need to keep this fire going. We have to keep that fire going. Like, the fire ends once we get our chicken farm going, we're gonna be having to find more flint. And I really don't like finding flint because it's already gonna be bad enough that once I actually get my mod going, you're gonna need even more flint. I'm taking the whole tech tree thing to a whole new level. So, ooh, as you guys can see, there was a fighting little thing going on right here, and one of them was a tree keeper. So, we are actually playing on the highest difficulty, or not highest difficulty, but the highest speed already. So, not much can be done at the current moment. Okay, so here we got everything you have. It is your stockpile in general. Everything you have. Half the time, you can't produce most of the stuff automatically. This is if you bought it from a caravan. Okay, now to the priorities. Okay, townies have a speed, or are done by per second. Now, the thing is that per second there is 8 turns. So basically every second, if the townies are doing absolutely nothing, it will go down this list and see what can be done. So first they will do anything that is cooking related, then harvesting and gathering, digging and mining, tilling and chopping, item construction, which is basically almost everything that you create. Wall construction, that's you creating walls. This is you killing animals and that. And this is basically you hauling the stuff back to your town into a stockpile. So, oh, we got our farm. Okay, so turn on, turn on, turn on, turn on, and on. And by the way, guys, you can lock doors. So, okay, so what we're gonna want to do now is that we got some chickens. We're gonna want to gather animals, and we are going to want to keep 5 eggs. Actually, let's keep that as 10 eggs at all times. Now, as well as keeping those 10 eggs, we are going to want to keep 5 omelets. Do not ask why. Just that is the way it is. Yes. I have no idea why I'm talking like that. Okay, so we got a stockpile for our goods. We got one for our food. Well, eggs. Yeah, for some reason they just walk over. Hold an egg on top of a fire and bang! They got an omelet. That was my phone. I think it's on vibrate. We are going to make omelets, so I'm actually gonna have to be right back, guys, because that message actually requires me to make a phone call. So be back in a minute. Okay. Now that I'm actually back, uh, let's continue. So our people are creating our eggs. We got some food supply going. We got some trees. Now, what we're actually really missing at this point is housing. So we are gonna plant down 6 rooms. I know we have 8 people, but if you get too many people going, then you actually get attacked by monsters, and I currently don't need that. Actually, is that option off or is that on? Because of the fact that this. Okay. All the options are now proper. So people actually go and sleep in their rooms. What we need is some walling in that for the houses, which I'm thinking we'll make log houses. Nothing to it, they just need a log. I really have to report that bug. Because sometimes if you guys are doing something and then something happens, going and doing it and not finishing the chop job, so. Oh, we got a froggy. We got a little froggy. What shall we do? Omelets, I will admit, guys, have actually been pointed out as the best food in this game. Because I will actually show you guys in a second. Okay. It fills the people 90% of their hunger, and the eat time is 72, which equals about 9 seconds. Okay? 90% of their turns to eat, and their turns to eat is typically around 2,000. So if you think about it, they're gaining 1,800 turns. Once again, like I said, guys, every turn, or every 8 turns is 1 second, so you end up having to do the math if you really want to know. But I'm not really that interested in that. I am more interested in knowing how much you guys want to continue seeing this, and whether or not you guys are even gonna be gonna actually enjoy this series. Because if you're not going to, then there is absolutely no reason in me continuing it. But actually, I'm just gonna let them finish off the main outsides, and then we'll call it a day for this. And in our next episode, though, if you guys do enjoy this enough, we will actually be trying to get ourselves some heroes. Maybe a caravan to show up. Caravan would be nice. Oh, I think we're gonna win this battle. They're wounded and we're only bruised. Oh, they're mortally wounded. We won! Sadly, no item dropped. I was hoping for a spear. Spear would have been nice. Ugh. Okay, so we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 more. So we're just gonna clear cut this area really quick. But anyways, guys, I'm actually just gonna call this an episode here, cause well, I got food cooking, which should be getting at least halfway cooked soon, and I don't want to burn it. As well as I really don't want to get too much into this game because I already know I could go for a couple hours, so if I'm not fully paying attention. So I will see you guys all later. And remember, 5 likes will get you guys will get me to continue the series for a little bit, and you will get a new video basically every Friday if I do get this 5 likes. So I will see you all later. Bye now.